trade wars between superpowers are heating up again, and it's got everyone on edge, from Wall Street traders to everyday consumers wondering how this could shake up global supply chains. But here's where it gets controversial. Is China's latest move a legitimate defense of its interests, or just a clever way to flex its economic muscles? Let's dive into the details and unpack what's really happening in this high-stakes standoff, step by step, so we can follow along even if you're new to the world of international trade. Picture this. It's October 12, 2025, and we're getting updates from Beijing and Hong Kong via Reuters. Chinese officials are firing back at US President Donald Trump's recent actions, labeling his latest tariffs on Chinese products as hypocritical. At the same time, they're staunchly defending their restrictions on exporting rare earth elements and related equipment. Intriguingly, they're holding off on slapping new taxes on American goods for now. To set the scene, Trump escalated things on Friday by hitting China's exports to the US with a whopping 100% additional tariff, plus fresh restrictions on critical software exports effective November 1st. This isn't just bureaucratic jargon. Think of tariffs as extra taxes that make imported goods more expensive, often hurting businesses and consumers alike. For beginners, rare earth elements are a group of 17 minerals crucial for making everything from smartphones and electric vehicles to military tech like missiles. China dominates their production, controlling about 60% of the global supply, which gives it significant leverage in trade disputes. These renewed tensions are already causing ripples. Stock markets, especially Wall Street, are jittery, with big tech shares plunging as investors fret over potential disruptions. Foreign companies that rely heavily on China's processed rare earths and magnets, key for manufacturing high-tech gadgets, are particularly worried. And this could even throw a wrench into an upcoming summit between Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping later this month. It's the kind of scenario that makes you wonder, could a simple trade spat derail world peace talks? Delving deeper, China's Commerce Ministry issued a detailed statement explaining their export curbs. They portray these restrictions as a direct response to a string of US actions since trade discussions in Madrid last month. Specifically, they point to the US adding Chinese firms to its trade blacklist and imposing extra port fees on ships connected to China. These moves have seriously damaged our interests and soured the environment for fair economic talks, the ministry declared. We stand firmly against them. Now, and this is the part most people miss, China isn't outright saying these US steps directly triggered their rare earth curbs. Instead, they frame it as a precaution against the metal's use in military contexts amid ongoing global conflicts. It's a subtle distinction that raises eyebrows. Are they really just protecting national security, or is this a strategic jab to remind the world of their monopoly on these vital resources? Unlike earlier this year, when both nations ramped up tariffs in a tit-for-tat cycle, with US rates hitting 145% and China's at 125%, Beijing chose not to retaliate immediately this time. They issued a strong warning, though. Slapping on high tariffs willy-nilly isn't the way to handle relations with China. We've always said we prefer peace, but we're ready to stand our ground if needed. They vowed to respond appropriately, unless the US changes direction. This restraint might actually open a window for talks to cool things down. It's a hopeful sign in an otherwise tense landscape. But skeptics might argue it's just China biding its time for an even bigger counterpunch. Reporting was handled by Eduardo Baptista in Beijing and Selena Lee in Hong Kong, with editing by William Mallard. This story adheres to Thomson Reuters' trust principles. So, what's your take? Do you see China's rare earth restrictions as a fair play in protecting their resources, or a bold manipulation of global dependencies? And could this lead to a full-blown trade war, or are we on the path to resolution? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss.